So then we are back with more understandings from the Renewed Covenant from the Aramaic English translation of the Word. This translation is from the original documents of the Hebrews of old, during the time when Israel was obedient, giving us then bearings and understandings of the future, and how we should then interpret the Holy Scripture as per Hebraic understanding. In these days where then many are asking what it would be like the end, you can safely say by the time and the descriptive information given to us via the Holy Scripture, this age has around 20 years. From 20, maximum of 22 years until it closes. So there are a lot of events coming in the next 20 years. Events very rapidly taking place, and it won't be as used to be in the past. Because the technology and the advancements in computerized systems plus the economies of the nations obviously is going to give us the very precise understanding of China taking the leadership of the world's market. As we understand, the Chinese simply have to wait. That's what they have to do, because they organize their future and their economy based upon time. We are heavily indebted to China, and as long as we maintain this government as it is, nice and quiet, so then we can maintain a steady growth of our economy until then we level, and then we can be participants in the market of the Chinese system. The world always going to try to return to their junkies, that's absolutely sure. But the problem is the economies are in trouble. So some say, they try to bound themselves up together, as Daniel said, Daniel the prophet said at the end, the nation would try then to adhere to each other in their own plans, but they would not be able. We understand the euro is breaking. But the nations, they always try to do as much as they can on their own. They prefer not admit that their economies are breaking and they must make a deal with China. But that's precisely the future. So then it's not truly fair for other nations coming up not being informed of China's leadership. On the contrary, they should be informed of. Because the Creator is very smart. He has decided to give the leadership from a nation from the time of Shaliach Shaul. If you begin to read Acts, for instance, you find Shaliach Shaul was then given a mandate to go around of his region and to relink the Gentiles and teach the people of the kingdom to come government. And he did. It was a transitional time from the first service and the second service. But the nations, they were profiting from his teachings. That's why Asia is so prosperous these days, because of the teachings of Shaliach Shaul. And then at the end, the trade returned from where it originated. But then the world, since they are so evil, they want to try to rely on their own. Though we have the future in our hands, so how should we react then when we know the future? While other nations are emerging, they should be informed to make deals with China, because they're going to be the leaders of the end. Should we promote their progress over ours? That's not the point. The point is being part of the system to come. Because rather than emerging nations wasting their resources in other areas, they place the resources where then the Creator Himself said would be the best. China is going to be the leader of this world's market. Though many people they take pride of their history, it's important to understand it's not the history anymore. It is the future. That's why they can't cling anymore to the old junkies. The old junkies always points to the past. What was given to us via prophecy points us to the future. The Creator's plan is yet the best. The nations, they can't come up with a plan higher than His. So then where you find then the evidence of this country? Revelation the 8th chapter. Where do you find the evidence of the trade 10 chapters later? But then the nations, they want to cling to their old junkies. So not only they're going to break themselves, then when they reach the end of themselves, then they're going to make a deal with China. Because we are not saying they should not do any trade with other countries. That's not the point. The point is being prepared when they launch their system, then for nations to be aware of it and be part of it. Because it was already indicated. So if a nation has a list of the markets they should invest in, and then there is China over there, invest in China's. Because the nations are going to be doing trade with China. Speaks of a leadership. And then when the Creator was speaking through Yohanan, He said then people, nations, kingdoms of the earth would do trade. The Creator wants the best for us. That's why He indicated in His Holy Scripture. So then we work in harmony with the words of the Creator is spoken of in Revelation. The Revelation is not complicated. So China should not be treated as a country. The view of the world regarding China must be the leader of the trade, yet in the future. But the future is at this moment. We are living the times where then Chinese is going to take over the system of the world. Not through invasion and force and military, simply through trade. So rather than nations being deceived and thinking that a system in Europe is going to work when it's going not, it's not going to work. Why should be people led then to believe a lie? Yesterday there was a deal over there with the Germany and Panama. Was it proper? Absolutely not. The reason why it's because we understand the euro is going to be dismantled. It's going to be broken. It's not going to survive. Would you then make a deal with people from other countries if you know your own monetary system is going to break? That's being a scoundrel, isn't it? First you resolve the problem with your monetary system, make sure you are out of it, then you extend your hand of trade with somebody else. They have more than 20 nations involved with this Eurozone. The whole situation is in crisis. Some of the countries are asking for bailouts. They're not going to receive. Is that safe for other countries to join in? No, it's not. The Creator has indicated they should be doing trade with China. Until the monetary system in Europe then is resolved. In the Middle East, same situation. They should be encouraged to do trade with China. And the nations of the world then, since they are involved in doing patrols and waters and at sea, in the air, should encourage the Chinese to do trade with the Middle East, because they have a very vast military. They can do patrols for the other countries also. It's extremely expensive sending ships over there only for patrols. But the Chinese, they have vast resources. They can take care of it. For instance, we, United States, we are not sending ships over there for our own trade. We are only doing the monitoring, and it's cost us a lot. The Chinese, however, they have a strict policy of trade. So obviously the plan from the Creator's viewpoint is, as they go out to do trade, they enforce the law and security. So unite both situations at the same time. So then we can retrieve and do our own rebuilding. That's being smart. And then the computerized system of the Chinese trade system will be around the world. What do you think is going to make China the greatest trade leader? They understand most people, they have computers at home. They want to link up their trade system with each computer. And while they do these, more nations will do trade with them, at least regarding the basics, construction equipment, construction materials, and then manufacturing, the basics of it. It's a lot of volume for those. And obviously they're going to help rebuild the nations. That's the time of rebuilding. So then Revelation indicate that many areas where then you can find very interesting parts related with the trade of our time. You can be sure of it. Europe, Eurozone, it's going to be dismantled. It's truly very hypocritical for other countries to make deals with the Eurozone knowing that they're going to be dismantled. That's not being very honest. So where do we stand then at this moment regarding then the prophecies of the end? First, we have to be honest. Yeah, quite honestly, it was not very nice for Germany to do trade and do partnership with Panama if they know their monetary system is going to break. It was not very nice. They should have first take care of the euro crisis and get done away with it, or get rid of, or fix it. Fixing won't be doable because we already have the record in the scripture that it would not. But they should first take care of it, dismantle it, and then make trade with other countries. But then rather than Germany decide to drag another nation in the midst of their own crisis. That was not very smart. What about the Greco country? And then the others in trouble. They have to have help. They decide to make a deal among themselves, and then they have to have help. That was the idea then when they came together under the same monetary system. If a nation would break or be in a brink of destruction, then the others would help. Was it not the deal? Where is the money for them?